I think the key about Singaporean dance is
Good grades.
maybe.
Like Josh and Sam, bro.
Maybe. Sam more than me, Sam more than me.
The elite.
Yeah. Okay, but nah. Sam has better weight than me. Confirm plus chop.
He's in the best Dota crew in Singapore.
Okay. So if I may just say, like, this is great because it starts everyone to think, right? So what does it make us Singaporean? What makes this place, this dance our own? And I think that the common thread that ties all of us together is actually that we are able to all do different things and appreciate different things. Because our history of Singapore since 180 years ago was that we are a trading hub. Everyone comes here to trade and then goes out again. In other words, we are the center of the region. Hello? Yeah. And that is our history. We are a hub. Therefore, our strength lies in diversity. We appreciate different things, we respect everything, and we try and learn everything. It is embodied in our local dish, rojak. Everyone likes rojak, right? Rojak is nice, right? To most people lah. Yeah. Sorry, I want to say durian, but no, I don't like durian, so it's rojak. Yeah, I think our strength is embodied in that dish. So that is my contribution. I think that's what makes Singapore special. And I hope that from here on, I think whether it's the old gen or the new gen, everyone can come together and have that conversation. Start thinking. I don't need people to come up with an answer this year, but I hope that this year is the year that people start thinking about it. Yeah, and then now we can pass the time on to the people from overseas to share what they think makes their own country, their own dance special. And then we put that into perspective when we consider our own. Right? Okay?
Okay, let me add it in before we continue. So, just to put it into perspective, right? The first question just now we asked about what's popping and all. As far as you can see all the responses and answers, it's more gearing of like the need to find yourself, okay? So now actually this question about what's special about in your countries or the niche, right, is for us to actually try to understand how, like after we realize there's a need to be different and need to represent yourself. So maybe we want to know like how did you guys in your countries and all that find that niche for yourself or for your country, Because I'm a very I understand the Singaporean mindset, and we are always like, it's useful for us to have an example, not to copy, but at least to understand like how something was done, before we can find our own way of doing it. Yeah, so that's the angle of the question. If it helps.
Yeah, okay, so I can give some examples. America is a huge mixing bowl of cultures and types of people, ethnicities, and so this idea of many things coming together that are very different created many new things. So in my culture, the idea of fusing things together and taking things that are completely different and putting them together in their own way is perfectly okay. Americans are also very independent, and they have this sort of like idea that they can, I don't want to say they say whatever they want, do whatever they want, but kind of. Like, it's okay to be yourself. It's cool to be yourself in America. This is a part of our culture. Like, that guy did it this way, okay, so I'm going to do it the opposite of that. Fuck that, I don't want to do it like him. I want to do it like me. This guy wears his hat like that, I'm going to wear my hat backwards. Fuck it. That's like a part of our mentality. So, like, in my dancing, that's very apparent. I'm very much fusing many things together. This is more of a personal thing now. I'm fusing things together, and I'm more like, I love it, so it's okay. You know what I mean? Personally, for me, that feels okay. Also, another personal cultural thing for me, being European American, all my family, like my great-grandfathers come from Sweden, Germany, Sicily, France, Czech Republic, and England. My last name's Webb, that's an English name. So being that many things is actually really difficult to find out what your traditions are and what your culture is. So you guys already have an advantage on me because you know what they are. You grew up with them, you feel them, you live them all the time. So for someone like me, I have to do research to find out what my traditions were that got lost through the years. So you guys have a one-up already. You know, you're right there to do that thing. And those are really important topics. I'm glad you guys are talking about that, knowing your history and this idea that you were just talking about. These are really important things, like, for people to hear, because a lot of countries do get caught up in this is the American way and you have to do it that way. And it's just not true, because even in America, every city was doing it different. We've always been doing it different. That's our culture. You know, the tradition of being yourself is a part of this dance. So that tradition, I personally learned that tradition in my group, Urban Artistry. Even within my group, we have a culture. In my group, in Urban Artistry, we want to be tradition bearers. We want to be dance preservationists, historians about the dance. We also want to be dance innovators and take this thing to the next level, so we can say, this is the Urban Artistry way, this is the DC way. And we're doing that as well. We also say we want to be cultural ambassadors of dance. And a cultural ambassador is someone that fully embodies or represents that style of dance. And that's like the culture within my dance group. And that's kind of our standard. We all want to live up to those things. We're all not perfect, it's very difficult, and it's a lot of work, but that's what we strive to be. So that culture within my group and the general American culture of people has definitely influenced who I am and how I dance. As well, my mother was a ballerina. So when I was really little, she had me in ballet class and like doing, Broadway jazz and ballet. And that European tradition that came to America and was in my family then was put onto me. So again, another personal thing for me that I can put into my dance, because I know how to stand on my toes. So I can glide, it's not hard, right? It's easy for me. I know how to make straight lines, so it's not hard for me to do toy man and tugging. It's just a part of who I am and how I grew up. What else? Yeah, that's all I got.
Hello.
Okay, so first I'll start with a bit on the Montreal aspect, and after that my personal aspect. If you think of Quebec, more specifically Montreal, it's the second biggest city in Canada, a city that is considered as an artistic city of Canada, and also it's a mix of American culture and European culture. It is in North America, but Montreal is part of Quebec, the only province that speaks French within North America. So there is this French influence or this European influence that's within the city. So I think that is something that also within street dance, or within the street dance culture of Montreal, also influence the way that things came out for the popular scene in Montreal. I think also Montreal was the city that, being in that scene, was a city that was mainly a breaking city, a lot of b-boy, which means that it started, and also our breaking community was a very aggressive community. We talk about call-outs, fouling each other, like it was really, really rough. And from that also spurred out a popping community. So there is a bit of that aggression per se that was put in the beginning of the scene, bringing up the newer scene that we know right now. And that's it. In the beginning, we didn't have a lot of support. A great accent, but we did not have a lot of support. There wasn't a lot of limelight on us. People didn't pay attention to us. Toronto was getting all the hype. Toronto was like only 6 hours away. Toronto was getting all the hype, all the information. Everybody was there. And nobody knew about Montreal. And what happened is that we focused ourselves into ourselves. And we said, like, we're trying to show and prove to people, like, hey guys, we're here. And we felt like, nobody really gave us props. Nobody really was paying attention. So eventually, he turned around and he said, well, let's focus on ourselves. And we started focusing on ourselves, battling each other, pushing each other. It was really, like I said, it came a bit from the breaking scene, so it was a very competitive, but healthy competitive. You know, Venom is doing his thing on his legs, and then you have Namco that's like, oh, he's really dope with his leg stuff. I'm going to go and work on my waving stuff, so that my waving stuff can be solid enough to like kill off whatever he's doing with his legs. You know, so it was really like that, stacking on top of each other, trying to level up each other, battling each other really hard. For certain culture, it's different, but for us it works. You know, for us it really worked, and we're doing this amongst ourselves, and without knowing, then you know, videos started to come out, things started to come out, and attention started to be put on Montreal. We didn't really go out there to try to look for that kind of attention, but the attention started to come because there was something really brewing and an honest, personal scene that was happening that was really focused on itself. And of course, with influences from the States and different other places. Quickly like that would be for Montreal. For myself, coming from that scene, that influenced me also. I'm Haitian descent. My mother was doing a lot of Haitian, she was a Haitian folkloric dancer, traveled the world with that. As a kid, I used to go always to a rehearsal, trying to pick up on that. So I already had that dance influence. And then my older brother was in a breaking crew, he was a boogie boy. And he used to battle me all the time when I was a kid, like come home and be like, I'm gonna kill you only with my arms. I'm gonna kill you only with the right leg. I'm gonna do this.